Hello, beautiful people. Today is 7th of June. My name is Sahil and welcome to Newspaper Analysis. Friends, he is a Thomas Jefferson, the person who drafted the Declaration of Independence in USA. He says, information is a currency of democracy. Now, currency is something which gives empowerment as well as bargaining capacity to an individual with respect to his needs in life. And when we talk about democracy, the information acts as such an currency because on the basis of right information only the rights can be demanded by the citizen. And now guys, as the democracies world over are evolving, so the right to information becomes even more important in this particular regard. So guys, this particular thing you can use in GS paper number 2 with respect to the constitutional rights as well as into the paper on essay. Now, friends, this was the main question that I gave you yesterday. The question is, anthropogenic disaster is the result of bureaucratic apathy, which impacts not only lives but also livelihood and reveals the disastrous management of disaster. So, friends, you need to comment on this answer. It means that you need to provide that what do you feel. You can support it, you can reject it. But seeing the lapses by the bureaucracy, we can't reject this statement. Rather, we also need to substantiate into favor of the statement. Now, as every day I tell you that your answer should be distinctly divided in three parts, that is intro, body, and conclusion. Now, when going to the introduction, we will define the anthropogenic disaster and their severity. And when we are defining the severity, take the help of examples. So, guys, here you can take the example of the Chernobyl nuclear meltdown that happened in Ukraine, as well as the example of the 3 Mile Island disaster in USA. Now, guys, we will be jumping into the body where you need to substantiate that bureaucracy plays an important role. Now, guys, what happens? Bureaucracy is divorced from the science and they don't know the complexities into certain of the projects. For example, when we see the recent accident into the Vishakhapatnam, it has been revealed that proper environmental impact assessment as well as clearances were not given, and still the administration was not enforcing those things because they were simply not aware that what complications can come into this particular regard. And when we talk about the huge installations such as nuclear facilities, then also it is often seen that bureaucrats, in order to cut the cost, often install the substandard parts and equipment which might prove faulty into the times to come. Why? Because bureaucracy was apathetic and was divorced from the science and was not able to anticipate. And whenever these incidents happen, they not take the toll onto the human life but also onto the livelihood, as into the nearby region standing crops, businesses, industries, everybody suffers. So guys, finally coming to the conclusion, you will provide the way forward as how by adopting small practices, strong vigilance and strong scrutiny, these things could be avoided, and in that particular capacity certain measures which can be taken such as supervision, all these things. So guys, that's all, and now let's start with the today's newspaper discussion. Guys, this is today's the Hindu newspaper. First of all, let's take the overview of the entire paper. First of all, we will see the rising COVID into India and certain concepts with regard to this. Then the border talks between the India and China has begun, so we will see certain details here. After that, we will look into India's first solar ferry and what could be the implications into the infrastructure for this thing. Then guys, there is a news with respect to the tremors of earthquake that are being felt. So from the geography we will discuss it. Now, guys, in between, there are much news with respect to the fatalities, which are not important for our exam. So now, the next news we will be seeing is about the Padma portal and what are the different national rewards we will be seeing here. After that, new skill mapping scheme has been launched, so we will see how it can be useful for the workers. Then, guys, coming to the international page, Brazil is also threatening to quit the WHO. So we will see that what changes into the multilateral order are coming. After that, coming to the science and tech page, we will discuss that what is the alternative RT-PCR mechanism and how it can be useful. Then secondly, we will see the serotonin triggers into the locust. Now guys, how ventilator can cause harm will not be seeing because it is a technical aspect with respect to the ventilator and its operationalities. After that, we will see the GVA mechanism and what is the controversy right now. Then we will see the Google controversy. And after that, moving to the final page, we will see the traffic report with respect to the poaching. So guys, that's all. And now let's take up the detailed newspaper analysis. Now here you can see that the COVID tally of India is one among the highest into the world, and in this particular direction India has reached the top 5 countries into the number of cases and has even surpassed the Spain as well as Italy, as we have more cases than them. Now in this particular direction, the R note of India is right now is being estimated at 2.04. Now, before moving forward, R naught is a value which represents that how fast an infection is spreading. Now, guys, if R naught is, for example, 2, then it means that a person who is infected by COVID 19 is infecting 2 people, and these 2 people will then infect the further 4 people. So, the connection is very simple. The higher the R naught, more people will get infected. Now, guys, into the mid of April, this R naught was nearly 1.28, but now, as it is being estimated that it could be well over 2, it means that government's strategy in containment might have not been that much successful, and the restrictions that were eased off during the May might have proved counterproductive. Now, seeing the present trajectory, there are two things which can bring hope for India as well as for the world countries. Number one is the discovery of vaccine, for which attempts are going world over the countries, and even the WHO is running the solidarity mission under which existing drugs are being repurposed to see if they are effective for the COVID 19 or not. However, various countries are also making the new drugs into this particular direction also. But the problem in making the new drugs is that the clinical trial will take much longer and thus approval might be a lengthy process. However, the fast tracking of trials has been approved by the WHO as well as various regulators around the world. But still, the making of the drug and actually manufacturing process will also take a substantial time in this direction. Now, after this, the second hope is the herd immunity. So, friends, when a virus is new, then nobody into the population has the immunity to fight that virus. However, as a large number of people gets infected, they develop a kind of a natural immunity, and in that particular direction, these people will now not become the host to the coronavirus, and therefore, even the person who have not been infected, they will also be safe. But in order to reach herd immunity, at least 55 to 82% should get infected and should recover from the disease. And guys, even if we go to the liberal estimates, then it is being said that approximately 617 million should recover from the disease in order to gain the herd immunity. However, right now the recoveries are just 1 lakh and 13,000. So in times to come, we need to see that what trajectory this pandemic will take. However, hope is the mother of everything, and as the humanity has fought the 1918 Spanish influenza, it can again thrive and will be resilient into this crisis also. So guys, this is all. Now we'll move to next. So now friends, here's a brief update. As we are following the Sino-India boundary dispute onto the LAC sector, the Lieutenant General level talks have begun to resolve the issue. So friends, we have discussed earlier that the major tension is prevailing at three regions, that is Pangong So, Galwan and Gogra. So in this particular direction, on to the 5th of June newspaper discussion, we had already seen the locations which are under the dispute. And even into these talks, the major focus was over the Fingers region or the Chang Chenmo range, which is onto the north side of Pangong So Lake. So here I had told you earlier also that Indian Army was holding the ground up to the finger number 4, but now Chinese had came into this particular region. So India wants that the Chinese troops should recede back to their original position. However, final breakthrough has not come, and still it might be some rounds as when the final decision will be derived. So, guys, this is all. Now we'll move to next. Now, this particular news article mentions about the first India's solar ferry boat, and the name of the boat is the Aditya. Now, guys, this particular boat operates from the Vacom, which is in Kerala, and now it is into the news because it is going to represent the Asia into the Gustav Trov Awards, which are named into the memory of Gustav Trov, who was a French electrical engineer and was a pioneer in electrical cars and to the electrical boats. Now, friends, this particular example can also be used into our GS paper number 3 answers. How? See, India's major cargo traffic moves from the national highways, which are overcrowded. Moreover, movement by the trucks is very costly and also leads to the pollution problem, due to which the air quality also becomes very bad. So guys, into this particular direction, Government of India came out with the National Waterway Development Plan, under which 111 national waterways will be developed. And even National Waterway number 1 has been operational from Allahabad to the Haldia, which you might have also been read under the Jal Marg Abhiyan. Now, guys, as these waterways will become more popular and more boats will ferry, so onto the lines of solar boat Aditya, the cargo boats onto these waterways can also be incentivized to turn into the solar powered. Now, guys, there will be much benefits in that particular regard, because first of all, there will be the much respite for the environmental pollution and the degradation of environment, and at the same time the operationality cost is very much low. For example, we can see here it needs just 180 rupees per day into the energy cost, compared to rupees 8,000 which could have been cost if the boat would have been run onto the diesel. So, friends, cargo boats onto these national waterways should also be incentivized to turn into the solar, and for that particular thing, the technology transfer can be taken from the France, as France played an important role into the development of this boat also. Now, guys, first of all, it will make our cargo transportation much cheaper and will bring much needed respite for the manufacturing in India, as well as the movement of food products will become also very much cheaper. So, guys, in this particular direction, a well full-fledged answer onto the GS can also be framed from the small examples. So, guys, this is all. Now we'll move to next. Now, friends, this article talks about the probability of an earthquake because of the recent tremors that have been felt around Delhi. So, guys, according to this news item, since May 15, more than 7 small minor tremors have been felt into the Delhi. So, it could be an indication of something else. Now, before going into the article, let's take up certain basics. Now, friends, you might be knowing that entire Earth's surface or the crust is broken up into the tectonic plates. So there are large number of minor plates as well as there are the major plates also. Now, guys, these plates have three type of interactions. First of all, two plates can go away from each other, and that is called as a divergent plate interaction. Then number two, the plates could come against each other, towards each other, and then it is called as a convergent. And number three, plates can strike against each other, and that is called as a transform. Now, if you see the Indian landmass, then you can see that it is an example of convergent. Why? Because the two plates, that is Indian plate and Eurasian plate, they are converging with each other, they are coming against each other. Now, friends, as both the plates are of same nature, that is, both the plates are continent in nature, they have the same density. And here, the subduction will not be there. It means that one plate will not go below the other plate. Rather, here will be the collision. And in that particular collision, there will be the great mountains which will be built. The faults will be built here. And the Himalayas had came out of this particular way. Now, guys, the interaction between both the plates is active. Still, Indian plate is pushing the Eurasian plate, and because of that particular thing, even today the Himalayas are rising. Now, as I told you that it is an active plate boundary, so what happens into this kind of interaction? Immense energy builds up, and that energy is released into the form of earthquakes. Now, guys, the present article says this thing, that as minor tremors are coming, this is an indication that gradually the energy is being released from the boundary interaction, and we should not worry about the major earthquake striking the region, because if this energy would not have been released, then there would have been the more fear of the prominent earthquake. So this is the one viewpoint. Guys, there is another viewpoint also, and there it is being said that these minor tremors are actually an indication of a bigger earthquake, and it has happened also. Moreover, in last 500 to 1000 years, there not have been severe earthquake into the Himalayan zone, which is geologically very active. So earthquake is very much due. Though guys, into the 1993 and 1981 there have been the earthquakes, but they were not that much intense. So anyhow the earthquake is due. So guys, there are two viewpoints, and actually the phenomena are so complex under the earth that nobody actually can tell that what is going beyond the surface. However, seeing the location of this plate boundary interaction, Kangra Valley happens to be a major spot where this all activity is going on, and India is very much into the vicinity of Kangra Valley. So therefore anyhow Delhi happens to be very prone area. Now guys, in this particular dimension it is being suggested that a strict building code should be installed into the Delhi, and the public buildings should abide to this particular code. But implementation has been very weak, and still there are large number of structures which don't abide the structural integrity. So in that particular direction government should take the urgent actions also. So guys, this is something about this particular article, and now we'll move to next. Now friends, here into this news, a government had made online the Padma Award portal. So guys, there are three type of Padma Awards. First is the Padma Vibhushan, second is the Padma Bhushan, and the third is the Padma Shri. Now Padma Vibhushan is the highest category, and Padma Vibhushan is given for the exceptional service. Padma Bhushan is given for the distinguished service of a higher order, whereas Padma Shri is given for the distinguished service. Now, friends, these awards were instituted in 1954 and recognize the exceptional services given by the people into the different fields. It has various categories of fields such as art, social works, public affairs, science, trade, medicine, literature, civil services, sports. So, wide variety is covered by these awards. Now, guys, if we talk about the history, then these awards are being given every year, and the award is given by the president. However, into the year 1978 and 79, as well as from 1993 to 97, the awards were not given. Apart from them, every year the award is given. Now guys, and there are multiple recipients of the awards, but more than 120 people might not be given a award, so the upper limit is 120. Moreover, guys, posthumously, that is after death, usually award is not given. However, if there is some very compelling or some highly deserving candidate, then government can consider also. So please keep this thing in your mind. Now, guys, though the award is given by the president, but the award is finalized by the Padma Award Committee, which is constituted by the Prime Minister every year. Now, guys, there is one more award you might have heard about, the Bharat Ratna. Now, Bharat Ratna is given by the president on the advice of the prime minister. That is the highest civilian award. So please keep in mind and not get confused. Now, guys, as the lockdown restrictions are going on, government had constituted the Padma Award portal. Now, what will be done through this Padma Award portal? Nomination letters will be sent to the various people, and they need to justify into the 800 words as why they are suited or why they should be given the awards. Now, guys, though the process was earlier also online, but now the more focused attention is being given. So guys, please remember all these things for your prelims, and now we'll move to next. Now friends, here's a small news where two agencies, that is the Indian Space Research Organization and the Aryabhatta Research Institute of Observational Science, had signed an memorandum of understanding. Now guys, this MOU is for the cooperation into the space situational awareness and astrophysics. So guys, what does this word astrophysics means? Now this astrophysics is the branch of astronomy. Now guys, astrophysics studies the nature of the celestial objects. For example, it will search what is the nature of the sun, stars, galaxies. It will not see the movement, rather the nature. And further in this direction, astrophysics employs the principle of both chemistry as well as physics. So guys, please keep this thing in your mind for the prelims, because such type of questions are being asked in science. So guys, this is all. Now we'll go to next. Now, friends, here the Uttar Pradesh has launched the skill mapping exercise for the workers who are returning back. Now, various state governments, into the aftermath of reverse migration, are taking some steps to rehabilitate these workers. Now, guys, just 2 days back, we had seen that the Madhya Pradesh government has also started the Rojgar Setu, and into this Rojgar Setu, they are also skill mapping the workers and will provide them then the employment. So guys, under the same lines, similar lines, the UP government is mapping that what skills these people possess, and it has been found that the majority of them, the largest number, they have the skill of the construction activities and can do work such as flooring, painting, masoning, and all these kind of things. So guys, first of all, because largest number are from the construction activity, it sees that the construction sector is actually one of the largest employer of the informal laborers also. However, moving forward, apart from the construction, people also have work into certain IT services, data operators, pharma assistants, beauticians, all these kind of things. So, guys, all these people will be mapped, and then the Kamgar Shramik Kalyan Ayog has been set up under the Uttar Pradesh government. He will be responsible for rehabilitating these people into the different industries. So, a kind of an employment portal is being made up here. So guys, when you are writing the question of the welfare, and there, if you need to apprise the state government's effort, there you can use the example of this, as well as Rojgar Setu, which was started by the Madhya Pradesh government. So guys, this is all. We don't need to go into how many number of people came and all that thing. So this is, now we'll go to next. Friends, here's Brazil had threatened that they will pull out of WHO on the lines of USA. Now, guys, this particular thing comes into the backdrop of an emerging scenario that is going on. That is, the legitimacy of the multilateral organization is being repeatedly questioned, and now under the attack is the World Health Organization. Now, according to the Brazilian president, WHO is working without any ideological stability. First of all, the attack has been made that it has failed to find out the origin of the virus and what should be the course of action. For example, earlier WHO said that the face masks are not necessary for the people who are not actually suffering. Now WHO had said that the face masks are necessary. After that, guys, we had discussed into the yesterday's article that how recently WHO had said that the hydroxychloroquine trials should be suspended because they are not effective in the treatment of the virus. And that study of that advisory of WHO was based onto the report of the Lancet, but it was later found that the firm which supplied the data was not having any credibility. So again, WHO, first of all, it said that suspend, then they said that okay, you can continue. Okay guys, so all these things we discussed into the yesterday's editorial also. Now what is happening? Because of all these conflicting kind of advisory, WHO's legitimacy is being substantially eroded. Moreover, Brazil also accuses WHO that it manufactured the recession, because earlier WHO suggested that the lockdown is the only possible remedy in this regard. And because of that particular thing, the Brazil's economy is also going very much low. However, the China, America, Europe, they are bouncing back into this crisis, but Brazil is not able to do that thing. So just out of the frustration, Brazil is venting all that thing onto the WHO. So wider question comes that is it the end of the multilateralism which is running the world order since 1945? So guys, please think on this line, and what do you feel? Please write it into the comment also. So guys, this is all. Now we'll go to next. Now, friends, in this article, the extracts from a research paper has been published. So it has been provided by the Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology, that if some different way into the RT-PCR test is used, then the test will be much more fast and will be less expensive. So we will see what they are suggesting. Now, guys, what happens? First of all, RT-PCR stands for the Reverse Transcription Polymerase Chain Reaction Test, and this is the gold standard for testing the COVID-19. Now, guys, in this particular test, the swabs are taken from the throat region and from the nose, and then that swab are stored into a solution which is called as viral transport medium. Now, guys, the part of this viral transport medium will be taken, and then it will be seen that whether the RNA of the virus is present or not. Now, guys, it is being said that retrieving RNA from here takes much of time and is very much expensive. So, what is being suggested? It is being suggested that an alternative method should be used where we store the swabs into the dry medium by the help of an ice. Now it is being said that if the temperature at 4 degrees Celsius is maintained, then for several days virus can sustain. So simply what we are doing, we will be dry storing these swabs through the help of an ice, and for storation we will not use the viral transport medium. Now guys, into the vial or the container wherever this swab will be stored, there we will put TE, that is the trice edita. So purpose of this TE is to restore the sanctity of RNA. So what we are doing, we are storing the swab into a solution of ice protected by the TE. Now guys, whenever the test is to be conducted, the sample is reheated at 98 degrees Celsius and then directly it is being tested. And when by this mechanism the RT-PCR test was carried, then the accuracy was similar to the standard test in which the swabs were stored into the VTM solution. So guys, it is being said that just by tweaking the ways of conducting the test, we can save the large number of cost as well as time. Now guys, the test is not different. The test is RT-PCR. Only the methodology is being changed. Now guys, this is just the preliminary founding and the research paper has been published which is yet to be reviewed by the fellow scientist. So guys, this is all here and now we'll move to the next. Now, guys, this particular article talks about the locust swarms, which are right now the problem into the North India. Now, guys, swarms are nothing but it is a name used for the large groups. And if you have followed the locust video that I had made, there I had also discussed this issue into the great details. Now, guys, as locusts are the number one enemy of the agriculture, right now they are posing the great problem for the Indian agriculture also. Now, guys, the Locust Warning Organization has been established by the Britishers to deal with the problem of locust, and right now the organization is headquartered into the Faridabad, and there are various field offices also into the various parts of Rajasthan. Now, guys, this locust attack which is being countered into India, these locusts are coming from the East Africa as well as from the region of the Arabian Peninsula. Now, guys, these locusts have unushered their havoc into the Iran, Oman, Pakistan, and now had entered India and had even reached the interiors as well as the regions such as Odisha and are becoming very much problematic. To deal with them, the Locust Warning Organization is using the aerial sprays of insecticides. Now, guys, this particular article discusses that the problem of locust is not only into India, but the countries of Africa, West Asia, Iran, and even the part of Australia are having a problem with the locust attacks. Now, guys, the problem occurs when the swarms are formed because due to their huge numbers only they create the problem. If they are into the less numbers, they are not that much problematic. And guys, by the very nature of evolution of these locusts, originally they live into the solitary environment, that is they live individually. However, as the climate changes, the vegetation occurs, what happens? These locusts tend to come near to each other, and when they come to near to each other, they touch each other. The serotonin is released into their brain, which changes their physiology. Their color changes, their body structure changes, and now they turn into the gregarious one. That is, now they prefer to live into the large companies, and thus the swarms are made. Now, further, friends, though the malathion is being sprayed in order to kill these locusts, but that malathion has various side effects for the crops as well as for the other animals. So now it is being said that as we have found that the serotonin is the problem. So what we can do, we can spray the locust with the serotonin inhibiting substances So they are not able to form the swarms, and therefore the problem could be reduced. So guys, this is all which has been talked into this article. However, I had made a very detailed video onto the locust also. If you want, you can see that also. So guys, this is all. Now we'll move to next. Now guys, this particular article talks about the concept of gross value added and why they are right now being criticized. Now guys, first of all, we measure the economic growth of our country on the basis of GDP, that is gross domestic product. Now GDP is nothing but the sum total of all value of all finished goods and products that are made into the country. So in 2015, we adopted the concept of gross value added, and this particular system was suggested by the United Nations Systems of National Accounting 2008 standards. Under this particular system, it was said that in order to derive the growth of an economy, or to derive the size of an economy, what you do, you take any sector. In that sector, you just see that how much value addition has been done. Now how we will see that thing? So they say that you just consider that what was the value of a raw material that was taken. Okay, for example, value of raw material was 100, and what is the value of the finished product that was made. So here let's take the value of the finished product was 500. So they say that now what you do, deduct the input from the output. So output will be 500 and input is 100. So the value addition will be 400. So now they say that when all the sectors will bring out their value addition, and when all those value additions will be added, so finally we will get the total value addition that has been done by an economy, and this is much more refined concept. So, guys, now a natural question will come. So, were we not doing any GVA calculation before 2015? So, the answer is that we were doing the GVA before 2015 also. But before 2015, we were calculating GVA at the factor cost. But in 2015, it was said that you calculate at the basic prices. So, two things happened in 2015. First of all, calculated basic prices. Secondly, though we were calculating, but we were not using it as a official growth data or the parameter, so it was said that use it also. So now a question will come, that what is the difference between the factor cost and basic prices. So guys, it is very simple. See what you have done. You got some output, suppose 100 rupees. There was some input also, for example 50 rupees. So guys, what is the value addition? Value addition is your total output minus your input, so your value addition is rupees 50. So guys, this only is at the factor cost, but basic price is little bit defined. What we do here, so the basic prices is very simple. What we do, whatever result we get into the factor cost, there we also add the production taxes, the taxes which has been levied by the government, and deduct the production subsidies, that is whatever benefits were given by the government. So guys, in this capacity, the GVA at basic price will be more realistic, because here the taxes and subsidies are also being treated. Now, guys, I hope that the concept of GVA is clear. So, guys, what actually happens? Our entire economy is divided into the 8 sectors. For example, we take the entire sector of mining, manufacturing, transport, defense, public administration, communication. So, there are 8 sectors. So, what we do? We calculate the total GVA of all the sectors, and on that basis, we can tell what is the growth of entire economy. Now, coming to the present controversy. So, guys, what happened? National Statistical Office released in 2019 the forecast of the GVA. Okay. Now, guys, GVA's forecast were also released, GDP's forecast were also released. Though it is a practice that when the actual data comes, we revise these forecast also. But the revision is not that much huge. It is just a slight. But when the actual data of the GVA for the last 3 quarters and the fourth quarter also came, there was a huge revision into the data. It was seen that the earlier GVA was very much high when compared with the actual data which came. So, was it a deliberate attempt, or was it is a methodological flaw? So the kind of controversies started to make rounds. So guys, in this particular light, it is being said that there are large problems into the GVA collection, because the source from which the data we are collecting, that source is not that much very optimum. So therefore it is being said that in place of GVA, GDP should be the official parameter, though government also had now said that GDP will be the official parameter. But a question is coming that why we are still continuing with the GVA. So we are continuing because it gives a better picture of economy, because of the sectoral analysis that it can make. And with respect to the policy, actions can be taken more easily by the help of the GVA data, whereas GDP might not be able to reflect that deeper analysis. Moreover, guys, as our economy has a larger proportion of the informal sector also, so there will also be certain problems into the calculation of data. So, guys, this is all. I have not used deliberately the digits as digits and percentage, because they will change after 1 month only, so not relevant. What we need to see is the concept here. So, guys, this is all. Now we'll go to next. Now, friends, in this particular article, Google's policies with respect to the privacy violation has been discussed. It is being said that Google is tracking the activities of the users, and even though when the users have turned on to the private or the incognito mode, it is being said that the Google uses a lot of plugins and extensions such as Google Ads, Google Analytics, etc. And by that thing, the information onto the real time basis is sent to the servers of Google. And there could be the apprehensions that such sensitive information might be misused into the times to come against the citizens. Now, friends, into the USA, a petition has been filed against the Google and the violation of the Federal Wiretap Act and the privacy laws has been alleged. Now, so far, Google has not clarified anything on that particular thing, but this is not a new matter. Into the last year also, Google paid $13 million into settlement for a privacy violation case, and throughout the world, privacy violation practices of the Google has been questioned. Now, guys, the thing comes that into the digital age, where the privacy happens to be one of the foremost fundamental rights, is it practically possible to take the privacy when such large engines, search engines, are having the near monopoly onto the internet? There's a question that internet, is it really a free space anymore as citizens used to call it? So basically, these mega giant engines such as Google, social media sites, they have become the surveillance actors, and even though they are not into the capacity of the government, and this is the first time into the history that a private corporation is having so much hold onto the lives of the people. So guys, please prepare an essay also into this particular dimension, as it could be very well asked into the essay paper also. Now, apart from that, this there is nothing much important. So guys, this is all, and now we'll move to next. Guys, here's a report from the traffic which says that the poaching during the time of lockdown has been nearly doubled. Now, here it has been said that the largest rise into the poaching came was related to the ungulates. Now, guys, ungulates are the category of animals which have the hoofs. So, hoofs are the extended toenail like this. So, they are the ungulates. It includes the animals such as the horses, rhinoceros, camel, deer, etc. Now, guys, talking about the traffic, it is one of the largest non-governmental organization and is a strategic alliance between the Worldwide Fund as well as IUCN, that is International Union for the Conservation of Nature. Now, guys, traffic's main aim is to reduce the global trade as well as illegal smuggling of the animals. So, guys, you might have read about the CITES, that is Convention for International Trade in Endangered Species. So guys, in this particular direction, both traffic as well as sites work together. So guys, that's all for today, and now let's move to the question section. Now guys, please pause the video and try to answer the questions. So first question is about the Energy Efficiency Service Limited. So these are the options, and try to consider which options are correct. Now the second question is with respect to the Petropol. So please consider all these things and try to tell which is the right option. Now, guys, the third question is with respect to the geography, and it deals with the Arctic Ocean. So you need to consider these three statements and need to choose the correct code. Now the fourth question is with respect to the LiDAR technology for science and tech. So please consider these statements and try to identify the right code. So friends, that's all for today. Mains question will be there from Monday to Saturday. So today is Sunday, so mains question will not be there. So that's all for today. I hope you are liking our video. Thank you so much.